So I need to get some feelings out, and I don't see my therapist for another 2 weeks since next week is Thanksgiving. And literally, I just saw her right before this happened, since I got dumped. And this channel is always, it's called Edwin's Journal now, and vlogging has always been therapeutic for me. So it makes sense that I dump on you since I got dumped because it too long didn't watch. And look, I know I did not deserve this. I know I deserve better, and like it just wasn't fair. So I'm not looking for pity in any way. It's just like I'm sure this has happened to other people and probably happens regularly, right? It just kind of sucks, and I personally really dislike like not having closure, I guess, like not understanding why things don't happen. I'm very like critical. I get stuck in my head sometimes like that, and I'm getting better at getting over this stuff. I haven't shed a tear, right? But like, it just really sucks because this girl that I've been seeing for the past 2 weeks, 2 months rather, sorry, not 2 weeks. That would be embarrassing, right? But the past two months or so, just basically did a 180, and the text was, "I think I'm getting cold feet." The text, and I'm like, "Excuse me, what is this about?" Right? And I just texted like, what are you talking about? I'm worried because obviously it doesn't sound great. And also like this is a week before Thanksgiving, and she had agreed that she wanted to have spend Thanksgiving with me, which is big, right? Meet some family. And I called her because I'm stressing. So I'm like, what? Like 10 or 15 minutes later, and she just texts back like, "I'm sorry, I'm not ready to talk, and or I can't talk right now," and with the crying face emoji. And I'm like, girl, you're stressing me out. Like I'm the one that's like low key stressing, and like you get to be the sad one. I don't understand, right? And look, I'm just gonna look at the text for reference, but it's just really confusing because everything she texted me did not line up with how we were in person. Like everything was so good. Like and that's what I really enjoyed about her. Like we clicked so well. We got along so great. So it just none of what she said made sense. But yeah, basically when I just said like, "Can you tell me what you're getting cold feet about or any context?" I'm like sad worried. And she said that, "I think you were right and I want to be alone," which I don't remember saying that I think she wanted to be alone. I probably said something along the lines of like, "I'm afraid that like, you might like ditch me again and like want to be alone." Because basically the funny story about this, right, is not funny, haha, but basically I actually met her last year in December, and we went on 2 dates, and one in late December and one in January. And they were so great, but eventually she told me that she like wasn't in a good headspace to see someone and start a relationship. And at first I was like, what, man? Because like, I got along with her so well. Like, to cut a long story short, her two favorite bands are Korn and Linkin Park. You don't find that in women, right? But no, like that's like there was more than that. Obviously, like we got along great, and like humor and like just everything, like interest and personality wise, everything. But eventually when we met up again, she asked me if I was going to be at the Slipknot concert. I said no, blah blah. But we met up again at a Korn concert. Then we went to the Used concert, and on the way there, she opened up to me as to why she had to basically take a break from or couldn't be in a relationship, etc. Couldn't really meet anybody. And I was like, wow, thank you for opening up to me. That's not like an excuse. That makes complete sense why you felt like you were like depressed and couldn't need time for yourself. I appreciated that she was able to open up to me like that. I like feeling like I can be a safe space for someone to open up to me, and I open up to her as well. So that reciprocation felt great, and I respected that. And she told me that she had been going to therapy and done some Pilates and stuff classes. But yeah, I guess that's just kind of like the context. And I guess for me, because like I had such a great connection from the beginning, and she dipped, like low key, I was kind of like afraid that it would happen again. So I think I don't know if at some point I mentioned like, I think I did for sure. In fact, I did. And I said like, "Oh, can you pinky promise that it won't happen again?" She's like, "Oh, for sure, we'll do it." And we forgot to technically do it, right? But like still, she said that she would pinky promise that she wouldn't disappear again. And here, it's like, I don't like when I have hunches like this and they come true. Of course not. It's terrible. But I'm just like so thrown off that like she sends me a text and like doesn't elaborate like this, and like didn't pick up the phone. I only called her once, but like she didn't pick up her call back. And then the next day, she just said like, "I'm sorry, I wasn't ready to call back. I just don't think we're on the same page." And I can't bring myself to be in this 100%. That's not fair to you at all. And I'm like, okay, fair. But like, we were talking for like the past 2 months, and that's completely fair to like break something off with someone that you don't feel you're on the same page, or you don't want to lead them on, essentially. But that's exactly what she did. She completely misled me. This is someone that literally last time we hung out, I told her about one of my good friends getting married next year, and she's having like not a bachelorette. It's like when it's co-ed, so it's like hen party or something. But she's doing a cruise, and last time we hung out, I told her about it. It's like, oh, maybe we could even do this, and she's like, yeah, I would totally do it. And she invited me to like a Linkin Park cover band in January. So we're close enough that we're talking about things in the future. And it just doesn't make sense to me that this kind of person that's willing to do this. In fact, like that same night, I let her borrow my cardigan because it was cold out and she didn't bring a jacket. And I let her have it, and she even kept it on the way home. I was like, oh yeah, I want you to have it. And we had a cute kiss and stuff. And like, yeah, she still has my cardigan, by the way. So, and then she texted me saying like, "Ooh, your cardigan smells like you." And she gave me heart face emoji. Like that's the last time I saw her. So I'm just like so confused. And I just said, "Could you call me to help me understand this sudden 180?" Or like, is this all I get? Because I feel like the breakup text is like, okay, and we're not even official, right? Like last time we hung out, we made it clear that we would be exclusive with each other. Because you see each other for like 2 months, and like you're both very interested. She was very reciprocating everything. But yeah, I don't know, because I said I really thought we were on the same page at acoustic emo night, so this feels disorienting. And she said, I want to be honest with you. I don't want to read it verbatim because like I don't want to like I feel bad airing her out, and it's nothing personal. Like one of my friends was like, oh, can I call her a curse word? I'm like, no, I don't want to wish her ill will. Like I'm not the type of person. Because I had such a great connection, and I think she's a great person. I just think that I don't know if she doesn't have the capacity of realizing like how she led me on and how that's wrong or what, because it's like it doesn't line up with the person that I met, so it's very confusing. And I think maybe she just fell back into like a depressive state where she's unable to see that or what, right? Yeah, but she said that I thought a lot about this and I prefer to continue being alone for the foreseeable future. Okay, and that's fine and all, but like I feel like after the connection, it's only fair to speak with someone like about everything, right? Like what about my cardigans? And she said, from a conversation at acoustic emo night, I realized that we're not aligned on some things. Girl, what things? Like like she never told me that. I think we show love and affection differently, and you deserve to be someone that is with you on that level. But what? Like, and also that's something that like can be compromised and adjusted, right? Because I have no idea what she's even talking about. Legitimately, I have no idea, because as far as I know, from everything, like we were so I don't want to say perfect, but like yeah, like this has been like the best connection that I've had in like the past 2 years since I've been single. To be honest with you, that also kind of sucks. Don't worry, I haven't shed a tear or anything, but like yeah, I'm just being real. She says she needs to focus on building herself up without the distraction of a relationship, and that means prioritizing what feels right for me. I truly didn't mean to hurt you, and I said this doesn't feel honest. It feels avoidant. Like you can't grant me a conversation. Like I just want a conversation, and I was asking for a phone call because that way there can be elaboration on what she's talking about. I can get these questions answered, right? That's really it. And I'm like, that shouldn't distract you. When the relationship was brought up that night, we both came away agreeing to take it as slow as necessary. I'm not rushing to be in a relationship. Like I don't care, right? So I'm not sure like what it is that she's referring to. I said, I do understand your desire to prioritize yourself and personal growth, but all I ask is that you see how you're handling this. I hoped that I'd be worth more than a text message breakup. No point in engaging further if I'm not, right? Because I'm basically saying like, girl, can we just talk this out? If not, then whatever, fuck it. And I hate when the takeaway from a text message is diminished to one thing, which is essentially what happened. She said, my intention was not to make you feel unworthy. I'm sorry that's how this is coming across. Like, no, it's not. It's, it's, I can't even explain. From my perspective, you and I are still very fresh. Like that part. And so it didn't feel inappropriate to let you know through text. Like, girl, okay, wow. Like that felt like it devalued the connection that we built up for the past 2 months, right? Like we were gonna have Thanksgiving, like literally a week from this conversation, less than a week, 6 days. And she had invited me to a concert in January. I was actually gonna invite, like, I bought a ticket to her next year, which I'm not gonna mention. It's kind of embarrassing, you know. But like, and I had invited her to my friend's cruise that she agreed to go to, like the last time we hung out. So that's why it's so confusing. This was acoustic emo night, so it's confusing that she would say that things didn't align. It's like, and if she can't tell me in the moment or bring it up at some point, it just feels really selfish. And yeah, I don't think I've mentioned that yet, but yeah, this all feels extremely selfish. But she said, like, it can be easier for me to write things down sometimes than to have voiced them. Anyway, I'm sorry and I'll leave you alone. I'm like, okay, first of all, my point wasn't to like, I need to have a phone conversation. Again, it's like, I feel like a phone conversation allows me to voice my thoughts and questions. And if she prefers to type them, then that's fine with me too. It's just that she wasn't, right? Like nothing she typed gave me any answers. Like if you feel like we were so fresh and it was fine to text, that's one thing. But like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I guess like part kind of rubbed me the wrong way because like it almost seems like she's like, what? Do you really feel something after just like the 2 months? Like, yeah, I mean, what the heck? We had made plans for like, you know, 2 months from now and then 5 months from now and then, you know, I don't know. It's crazy. Like we had a lot of cute hypothetical conversations. And like the same, like the last time we hung out, I let her have my cardigan, not have it for keeps forever, just for that night. And she said like, she literally texted like, your cardigan smells so good, like hearts in the face emoji. You know, like that's the last time we hung out. And I guess I'm just so thrown off. Anyway, the last text I sent her was, but all you really let me know was, sorry, I'm out, with hardly any details. It doesn't seem you get why I feel totally misled, because every time we met in person, we were on the exact same page, unless I was delusional, in which case, I don't know why such would never be introduced, given that we both emphasize the importance of communication. This should be your takeaway. Because literally, she told me about a time where her ex kind of did something, without getting into details, did something and like didn't tell her. Then she kind of like had to call him a bunch of times because she was like, you can't leave me in the dark. Like transparency is so important. I was like, wow, yeah, I totally agree. Like transparency communication is so important. I thought we were on the same page about that. And now she can't even communicate like what exactly didn't align, right? Like that's it, like it's one thing to say that like I need to focus on myself. I'm sorry, I can't be in a relationship. That's one thing. But to suddenly say that we didn't align. Okay, so just tell me that, right? It's not much to ask for. And obviously, like, it's like, we're obviously at the point. This conversation happened yesterday, or let's see, has it been 2 days yet? No, yeah, yesterday morning. So I feel like we're reaching the time where this is someone that maybe didn't really value me very much, or I don't know. So it's like, it's not really worth it, right? But at the same time, I forgot why I started saying that. Basically, yeah, I guess, oh yeah. Well, I guess I was saying that because like, if they didn't really value me, I guess the explanation shouldn't really matter. But at the same time, for me, when I have such a connection for someone, first of all, even if it doesn't work as a relationship, I still like, I don't know, maybe it's crazy to say, like, I still appreciate the friendship because like, she opened up to me about so much. Like I know so much about her and she knows about me. So like, why throw that away? You know, that's my mindset. Like, I can still help you from the sidelines. You know, we don't have to be fucking lovers. Or if you possibly want a relationship, like, we can take it as slow as possible. And I feel like she's doing this because she's self-sabotage. And that's kind of my thing, right? Or that's my theory, I guess. Anyway, I kept going and I said, this should be your takeaway, that like she misled me. And I don't know if she gets it. I feel like because this all feels very selfish. Like, she doesn't really want to hear me, and like, you know, she's just saying like, hey, this is it. It's like, we'll elaborate. Part of me is like wondering if I'll text her. Like, obviously we're at the point where like there's not much else to lose other than my cardigan, which I do want. I've had it for like over a decade. Sentimental value. But like, I don't know if I should ask her for the cardigan, but at the same time, like, I feel like it's either the cardigan or the final text. But the cardigan is also a gamble because I probably won't get it, right? Some of you watching are probably like, yeah, bro, your cardigan's gone, so stop thinking about it. But like, I feel like a final text, because after this text, which let me finish it real quick. I obviously didn't get a reply, but it said, this should be your takeaway, like that I was misled. If text is how you prefer to handle things is one thing, but you haven't been transparent. I accept you don't want a relationship with me, and I guess that you want to cut me off completely, but you should also accept that you've blindsided me with little to no context, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, girl, you scammed me, essentially. Scam sounds like such a silly thing, right? But she wasted my time. Like, she led me to believe that things were going great and possibly into relationship land. We talked about possible relationship, you know? We talked about taking things slow. We talked about so many things. So I guess like, since there's not like response, right? Like she's gonna play like the pity card. I'm sorry, I hurt you up. It's like, girl, don't like I don't like when people apologize for the wrong thing and then like that's it. Like, well, I'm doing what's good for me. It's like, okay, sure. Just accept that what's good for you is at the cost of hurting somebody else and it's selfish. I guess that's what I want to say, but I want to spell it out in the sense that like, hey, by the way, you say that we weren't aligned, but what you told me in person was that you were down to do this cruise with me, that like you invited me to this concert in January, and like you don't owe me any explanation. You don't owe me anything. At the end of the day, like we weren't actually in a relationship. We were exclusive, but we weren't official. Whatever, right? Like it was only seeing each other for 2 months, right? Like whatever. At the end of the day, you can break up with someone. I'm not gonna say break someone's heart. Don't worry, I haven't shed a tear. But like, just accept that like you're doing it in a very selfish way. I guess that's what I wanted to understand because, you know, and if nothing else, at least I'm getting it out there. And hopefully someone's watching this, and if they're thinking of doing it like that, just understand that's selfish. Because I think this is like a step above ghosting, I guess. Because at least she's not totally ghosting, but it's like, what is the effect of ghosting? Leaving someone in the dark, confused, and like, yeah. So it's basically having the same effect because it's like, it's doing the not even the bare minimum. Like the bare minimum would be to explain. I don't know, and I guess those are all my feelings. But yeah, I don't know. It's just too bad I don't have another session with my therapist for 2 weeks. But I can't suddenly. See, I feel like there's also a window, right? I can't wait 2 weeks or like longer than a few days to let her know like my angst and stuff. Like, oh, like, hey, by the way, just first of all, these are the last things I want to say to you. And also, I would love to pick up my, first of all, I would love to pick up my cardigan. You can leave it out and I won't, you don't have to see me. I'll pick it up and that's it. Um, and I won't bother you after this again, but I do also want you to know that you completely misled me because in person you said that we didn't align, but like you should have communicated in a different way, or at least communicated period, because X, Y, and Z, like I said to you guys. But anyways, I have been blabbing for 20 minutes now, and I feel like overall, I hope I made myself clear. Like, it just sucks. At first I was like really bummed out, and then the next morning I was also really bummed out, and it just kind of continued. I'm still bummed out, of course. Like, it's not like I'm crying or anything, but like, I don't know. Like, it just sucks. Like, literally. Also, as far as intimacy, like, I'm so willing to take it slow. All we did was like kiss and make out. I'm not trying to rush to sleep with anybody. Like, I don't know. And I told her that like I feel like she was like a gem in Arizona, because I feel like maybe I'm just not looking in the right places, and I do need to put myself more out there. Like, she was like very creative, and I mean, she was even in some of my vlogs a little bit, some appearances. So that's gonna be a little funny. Whatever. I don't know if I need to edit her out, right? But like, it happens. Like, I don't want to say any ill will towards her, but like, she was very encouraging and stuff. I felt safe to be myself totally. And that sucks because like I've had dates with people that like I don't know how I would incorporate, and she was kind of encouraging. I don't know. Anyways, I'll find someone or not. Either way, that is kind of my feelings about it, and I think it's good to kind of capture this because yeah, I don't know. You know, it's not the end of the world. So like, it's so weird. It feels like it's like a breakup video. Like I got dumped, but like, you know, it was an actual relationship. That's the hard part about dating, you know. And I realized that it's like dating in your 30s. It gets more and more complicated because, you know, in your 30s, well, not everybody, but so many people are just fractured. I mean, I'm fractured. So many people have traumas, right? And she obviously did. And I'm not saying like an assumption. Like I know, right? And it's harder to meet people. People are more picky, which for good reasons and stuff. But like it just things are more complicated and stuff. Dating in your older days, but oh well, oh well. We get back up and don't give up. You know, don't give up. Don't give up on love. Don't give up on anything. I'm saying that to myself. But this did kind of make me feel like I kind of know what I want. And at the back of my mind, obviously, if I was kind of afraid that this would happen to me again, I don't know if like I accidentally manifested it or what, right? Because that's the thing. Seriously, that's the thing. It's not that I felt like I could fix her because it sounds like it, right? Like, oh, she's not ready, blah, blah, she's going through this and that. In person, everything was Gucci. So, I don't know. All right. All right. Look, I don't want this to come off like a self-pity or like we should judge her kind of video, okay? What I want the takeaway from this video to be was that like, if somebody else has gone through it, I want you to kind of relate or see how it's happening in your life. So, you know, self-reflection to everybody else. I don't want people to feel bad for me or whatever. I just want people to know and kind of like apply to themselves. Like be nice to other people. Think about how you treat people and how communication is so important. You know, transparency. Maybe not to everybody, right? But I'm a lover boy through and through. All right, that's enough ranting. All right, cheers. Take care. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.